Yeah, perfect. I think we're live.
Episode 251.
251.
Only in Ohio.
Yeah. I Googled, like, I was trying, like, when I have no idea of what to put up for the title, I've just been like Googling like dumb catchphrases or like cliche things. So this time I Googled like things kids say in 2023, and only in Ohio popped up on the list. And since Ed lives in Ohio, I figured it was appropriate.
All right, that's what we're going with.
So yeah, all right, that's a good intro. There's the little button that plays the song. There it is. All right, there we go.
What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to this week's episode 251 of the STS Guys. I am Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
And we are the STS Guys, a weekly podcast where we sit around, shoot the shit, and talk about anything geeky, nerdy, and cool. What's going on, Larry?
Oh, what's up, Jeremy? I guess this is the part of the podcast where we say it's been a week.
It's been a week.
It has been a week.
There's Scott. Scott's out sick.
Scott's out
the chat is asking, where's the birthday boy? Well, half of the birthday boys are here. But I think in this case, you mean Scott, since you guys share a birthday, which was last week. So happy belated birthday.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Like I said, I'm now officially. I said, in my 40s.
Yeah, I'm there, so I can cringe. Yeah.
No. Yeah. So, do I feel like it? Absolutely not.
No, that's okay. That's all that matters, right? Like occasionally, like, there's those social media posts or whatever where like they show pictures of like TV stars and stuff from like the 70s that were like in their 40s or 50s, or like the Golden Girls. Like right, that was one that was around for a while. Like when the Golden Girls show was on, they were in their 50s, and they look way older because like the Friends cast is now in their 50s. Rest in peace to Matthew Perry. Right, and they don't look like they look way younger than the old ladies from Golden Girls. So I think that our generation, like now that we're hitting, 40s or even like 30s or 50s, whatever, like it's not quite the same as it was for like our parents or our parents' parents. They went through some stuff. Like, they're a lot older. We're younger. We're more fun.
Hey, I said all them preservatives and like fruit roll-ups, and I said
apparently,
Taco Bell and everything else. I said it's done wonders for the genes.
Yeah. Totally agree. Like I don't know what it is, but something changed. I literally saw one of these like last week, and I read through some of the comments, and one of the things people said is like people don't smoke inside anymore. So right, like people smoke cigarettes less, and you don't smoke inside like restaurants. You used to not be able to avoid it, so maybe that's part of it too, right? Like at some point when we were kids, they stopped letting people smoke indoors, so maybe that saved our skin a little bit and didn't make us age quite like like the kids of the 70s or 60s.
Oh no, kids!
Manny's on board with the Taco Bell. So.
I think it is. I think there's something there that's secretly, like I said, keeping us forever young. Whoever knew Taco Bell is the fountain of youth.
Yeah, Ed agrees. Right? There's a lot more smoking and drinking. Like what was that show, Mad Men? Right? Yeah. They'd go to the office, they'd smoke, and they'd drink like all day. Like we don't do that. We work from home now.
Yeah,
it's entirely different worlds, right? I get to sleep in until like 5 minutes before I start work. Like the olden days, they didn't get to do that.
Yeah, the olden days. Back in my day.
Yeah. Well, we can totally do that too. There's plenty of back in my days. I forget what it was. I forget. I was talking to somebody this week, and we had one of those. It was like, right, just like just stupid things like Blockbuster and like things kids will never understand. Payphone. It was phone cards. I don't know why I was talking to somebody about phone cards this week, but remember like probably like mid 90s when prepaid phone cards became a really, really big deal. Kids now,
and then they were also collectible as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Because once they hit you didn't want just the boring AT&T one. You wanted the one with like Beavis and Butthead on it or whatever. That was
throwback to King of the Hill. I know throwback to King of the Hill. I said when when Connie gave Bobby one, a 15-minute phone card by none other than Tony Danza.
Oh yeah, that's right. Classic. Yeah, I do remember that. Did you see Tony Danza cancel that Fan Expo Dallas thing?
Yeah, I did.
That was heartbreaking. He was sick or something. Like it was like the day before he canceled. So not like I was ever going to seriously travel to Dallas for that. But I'm glad I did not plan a trip to Dallas for that because could have happened.
Totally could have happened.
Oh well. This does not surprise me at all. It says that somewhere he still has a Star Trek calling card. Very cool. The one that I had that I remember, I think it came from Pepsi, and it was a tie-in with the Congo movie. Right, the Michael Crichton movie with Amy. Yes. I have a picture with like Amy the gorilla on it. A Congo phone card that I believe she has like a Pepsi because it was like a Pepsi tie-in.
I remember that because yes,
like I'm googling phone card. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I had a couple of them. I had one that had like the Terminator on it. It was like nice. Terminator, like I said, like a T800, like said Terminator on it. Because why not?
Because that's what they did for everything. Yeah, this is totally what I had. Right, it says Discover Congo the movie. It's got Amy looking at like a 20 ounce, I think, of Pepsi with the old school like 90s logo on it. There's like Congo T-shirts and stuff too. Interesting. So yeah, I kind of remember this cup as well. So yeah, Congo and Pepsi must have had. Oh, this is Taco Bell. See, full circle conversation. Taco Bell.
Well, that's like I said. It not only kept us young, but it kept us connected.
Exactly. Free long distance for 15 minutes. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy though? Like that long distance also used to be a thing. Like,
oh yeah, that's totally
like long distance totally expensive. Like hey, you used to like you can't call that person. I said that's long distance.
Right. Yeah. Right. Just in which like now that it's free, like again to go like tell my kid or something, like try to explain that to call my grandma in Chicago from Arizona, like we had to pay money, like extra money to call her, and like you timed it, right? You're like, we can talk to grandma for like 1 hour and then that's it. You get 1 hour a week to talk to grandma and then you're cut off. Yeah, like in just like hindsight, like you're literally making a telephone call. What does it matter that I'm calling a different state versus calling like Jeremy who lived down the street or something? Like I'm sure it had something to do with the phone systems and there was probably logic to it, but like my God, different times.
Oh no, crazy different times, right? Like I said, and then like the advent of caller ID. I said at the same point in time, like
yes.
wait,
yeah, that was around the same time.
I know who's calling me. I said as well.
Exactly.
Whoa. And then it used to be a whole separate box rather than I said
yes, on the phone
rather than on the phone.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, because you had to pay money to get that caller ID box. That way, like if Scott was calling you and you didn't want to talk to Scott because you're avoiding him, you didn't have to answer.
Yeah, in case I borrowed his sweater. I said I never returned it. Yeah, throw back King of the Hill.
There you go. Yes, there you go. don't have. Oh yes, Nancy, right?
Nancy, yes. Nancy borrows Peggy's sweater, and then she just avoids Peggy's phone calls.
Yeah,
and then
but Peggy's looking out the window at her, not answering. Yeah, and then they hide in the closet. Yep, there you go. Everything. Taco Bell and King of the Hill.
I have a King of the Hill reference for everything. I said,
very nice.
It's literally just there. Also, real quick, shout out to Ed. I said shout out to Ed.
Yeah.
I said the other day. I said because he shared me then I shared it with you. Is that King of the Hill? I said Rusty Shackelford baseball T-shirt.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I totally ordered that, Ed. it took me like literally zero thinking just to even just like click buy.
You're like, bought.
Yep. Just,
Very,
there's not that
very
much
cool.
King of the Hill merch out there, and then like I said, I had to have it.
It's very nice. It's very like very 90s as well, right? Because it was like the like Fleer baseball card design. And
Yeah, it was like the Fleer like Cal Ripken
pretty cool.
like baseball card, right?
Yep, it was perfect. Yeah, very, very cool. I messaged you about it, but did you redeem your Stranger Things NFT yet? Because that started yesterday. So yeah, when you get a chance this weekend, you've got like a month. It's super easy. On Instagram, I gave you like 2-sentence instructions. So. Yeah, cool. It's okay. Like there's you just click on like a button and enter your address. It's super easy. But if you need help, tell me. But yeah, the Stranger Things NFTs are up for claiming. I don't know, right? If you don't claim it, you don't get it. But you may remember
if you don't claim it, it ends up with TJ Maxx.
Oh god, did you see? I saw that. It was like the Superman one or whatever at DC. It looked legit. Like all the comments were like, no, this is fake. The dude just brought his own pop in. I feel like it was legit.
I think it was legit.
It might have been a little more believable if there were multiples rather than just one on the shelf, but like somebody else is gonna find one at Five Below or Ross or one of those kind of stores, and then chaos is gonna break out.
Oh, the chaos is
gonna be right.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Oh, somebody didn't redeem this, and we could send this case to TJ Maxx. They'll sell it for $5. Oops.
Yeah, no. Oopsies. Well, I honestly don't even think it's an oopsies anymore, and I think it's just like, I don't care.
It's either that or throw it in the dumpster, right? You mean TJ Maxx will give us $1 for it, or for like a case of them? Sure. Well, here you go. Here's some inventory. Yeah, I don't like Manny asked, right? How does TJ Maxx either maybe one like accidentally went into a box with some other pops? I don't know, or maybe they got 6 of them, or I don't know. I feel like it's legit though. I really doubt some guy was just like, I'm gonna smuggle my Funko Pop into the store.
And then out of all NFT ones, that one specifically. If you're gonna like play a joke, so you're gonna like pick like a popular one, right? Like you're gonna like, look at this.
Okay, something cool. That one wasn't. I don't even remember what it was. It wasn't cool. Yeah, Ed said that he shared. The guy shared his receipt. I did see that too, and Jessica was able to scan the sheet with her Fetch app, and it legitimized the entire receipt.
Hey, look at that! I said we have investigative. I said investigative Wonder Team. I said Ed and Jessica.
Well done.
I said on the case.
And Ed knows more than me again. It was the Superman from Earth 2 pop. Thank you. I vaguely remembered it was some type of Superman pop. I don't even remember that NFT drop exactly. I haven't followed along for all of them, but Jeremy and I both bought one pack of those Stranger Things ones when that was like one of the first ones to not sell out, right? When they were still available like an hour later. And I'm like, sure, why not?
It was way more than an hour later. Because I think I purchased that like a couple of 2 or 3 hours, like I said, after the drop in, and they were still available.
So why not? But yeah, I got Dustin, you got Mike. Which is funny because I thought I got Mike, but then when I logged into redeem mine, it said Dustin. I'm like, that means Jeremy must have got Mike. So yeah, you'll have to claim that. It's super easy, and then like it's still going to be like 6 months or something before you actually get it. But one day, that to me, like there's a thread on like the Funko board about NFTs and about like how they should fix them. That really needs to be step number 1 is do not take an entire year for me to get my redeemables, because that is way too long.
I'm still waiting for what the redeemables are going to be from the cards.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. I think somebody said it's like a Captain America, but that was July.
Yeah.
It's now November. That's got to be coming soon. Yeah. Those have fallen in price a lot.
Yeah.
Like the redemption cards were like $100, and I think they're now like 20 or 25. Like I bid on a couple. Like I didn't end up winning because I didn't really want it, but for $20, I guess I don't know. It's still kind of a cool idea, and maybe it'll end up being something cool, but it feels like there's a ton of those out there. Like it's not that rare. We shall see.
It seems like it was like going like a one per box. Like it seems like, at least.
I think so. Yeah. But I mean, like, I think they're still in stock at like Hot Topic and Box Lunch and stuff. So I don't think they're too hard to get.
Where was it? I saw someplace the other day selling like individual packs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where
I think Hot Topic was selling individual packs too.
Yeah.
I still have not bought any. I'm gonna search for something real quick. Sold. Did you see how much those sketch cards were selling for though?
Wouldn't they like ridiculous amount?
Yeah, because you can get you can get that redeemable pop, which is fine. But you could also get like super hard to pull, like one in thousands and thousands of packs or something. But you could also get sketch cards, including this extremely ugly. I'm sorry, no offense to the artist. Doctor Strange, which sold for only $1,200. But there's a Spider-Man that sold for $5,000. This Spider-Man that sold for $22,000. From drawn by Ben Butcher. Right. So I think the two like chase ones of the chase were either some of the sketches were done by Ben Butcher or Reese O'Brien. I believe there's a Reese. I guess it's probably fallen off. But there was a Reese that sold for
could you
close to that.
Pull up one of those cards real quick, just like any one of them. So next time, like I said, anybody's at one of these like comic shows, right? About any of these like said well-known artists, right? So like it doesn't matter if it's like a Funko people, just like comic book artists, right? When they commission people, I said they give them stacks of these blanks, like stacks and stacks and stacks of these blank cards. So where I'm going with this is all you need to do is basically have some type of commission out there, and just like it's automatically a quote unquote one of one. Like, because they're not. It doesn't say Spider-Man. It doesn't say I said anything else.
No,
like it's literally a generic card. Because I actually have a couple of these. Not Funko ones, but from a couple of comic book artists. Where I'm like I didn't want to buy, like I said, like cards and cards and cards to basically try to pull like one of their sketch cards. I literally like, hey, can you draw me, Spider-Man, or hey, draw me Iron Man? Oh yeah, sure. It's like, do you want it on a sketch card? Yeah, draw it on a sketch card. And it's literally the same upper deck or Fleer or whatever. I said whatever deck they're in. It's literally the same card. So which makes that interesting in regards to why that's $22,000. And if Ben Butcher happens to be listening to this, you can slowly just start releasing those out in public and make yourself a killing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like I remember like when the first one dropped, you and I were talking about it, and it didn't. I don't think it sold for 20,000, but it sold for like 12 or something. It was a lot of money. Like, and right, like we followed like Reese O'Brien on Instagram, right? Like we followed his kind of career for a really long time. I know that dude would do a lot for you for $12,000. Like he sells the sketches like on his shop, for like a couple $100, I think, like maybe even less. For thousands upon thousands of dollars, he would give you something really, really cool. Ben Butcher was selling his prototypes and other random Funko stuff on eBay like a couple months ago too. That dude I know would do a lot, give you something really, really cool for $20,000, better than this little 2.5 by 3.5 Spider-Man sketch. That's a lot of money.
That is just.
So congrats to whoever got that. That's kind of lottery pull, but yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, man. Can I tell? It's kind of a sports story, but it's not really a sports story. Let me see if I can find that picture. So, me and my friend, it's more of a gambling story, so bear with me. I'm looking for the picture. Yeah, it's a good story. So like beginning like February, right? Like me and my friend Eric went to the Super Bowl. Not to the Super Bowl. We went to the casino to watch the Super Bowl, and he went to make like just a cheap bet on like the Eagles or the Chiefs, whoever was playing, right? While we were in line for him to make that bet, he's like, they had the board up and you could bet on who was going to win the World Series, right? Because baseball hadn't started yet. It was super early. And he's like, I think I'm going to bet $10 on the Yankees to win the World Series because, like, I don't know, he's a Yankees fan or his dad liked the Yankees. So the Yankees had pretty good odds to win the World Series. And I'm like, I don't know if the Yankees are going to win the World Series. Like he was going to bet $10 to win like 20. Like, that's not that fun, right? $20 doesn't matter. Like an extra $10, you're barely going to go to the casino to go pick it up. Eric was, so like I knew the Diamondbacks could be better. So the Diamondbacks did make the World Series, which is fun. I spent a lot of money to watch them lose at the 3 World Series games that were in Phoenix. Fun. But Eric also likes the Texas Rangers, and I thought the Texas Rangers would be better. So I told him, like, instead of betting on the Yankees, why don't you bet on the Rangers? The Rangers had like horrible odds. They were like the bottom third of the teams on the list, right? So he bet his $10 on the Rangers to win the World Series. The Rangers won the World Series and they beat the Diamondbacks. But his $10 won like $450, which is pretty good. Off a $10 bet, like he won over $400. I'm like, dang, man, like if we would have just bet like $100, that would have been $4,000. Or it got me thinking, right? If I bet $1,000, that'd been like $40,000. I'm like, obviously that was a bit ridiculous, but so anyway, long story long, in February, I picked the Texas Rangers to win the World Series, and they won the World Series. It's just really unfortunate they beat my favorite team, but that's okay. It's okay.
Hey,
like I still picked the World Series winner in February when nobody else was picking the Rangers, so it was fun.
Hey, it's I said it was a little rough. It was a little rough. I'm not gonna lie. Like when they came back, I said because they came back swinging from the Phillies. Like I said, they
did. The Diamondbacks did.
And then they came back, and then I'm like, okay, there's some hope here. And then it kind of fizzled out. But
nope, they lost all 3 games I went to here. It was sad. It was still fun. Like I've never been to the World Series, and the Diamondbacks won the World Series in 2001. I was like a poor college kid back then, and I don't remember exactly why I didn't go. But like I've kind of regretted not going then, and I'm like, if they ever get back to the World Series, I'm absolutely gonna go. So, win or lose, which clearly they lost, it still got to go. So it was cool. It was a good week.
That's awesome. Glad you got to go. That's awesome though. That's really
thanks,
cool.
Man. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. You got anything else? Did you buy anything?
What did I buy? I have a hot toy someplace. Like,
I have a button for that.
Yeah, there's a button for that.
Got it.
That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That was hot. That's hot. That is really hot.
No, so other than that, right before the podcast, I just got back from the comic book store I go to, it's the biggest one in Austin. It's called Austin Books and Comics. But they held their bi-monthly comic swap.
Okay, cool.
I say where they basically, hey, we're all a whole bunch of books, so you get to go and pick basically what you want, this, that, and the other. So
yeah,
I actually ended up finding a whole bunch of books for really, really good deals.
Nice.
And just because I'm always looking for the random stuff that no one wants or doesn't basically see any value in, but I'm always thinking 10 steps ahead in regards to hey, this could be a thing. Hey, I said this could definitely be a thing. So I ended up picking up some books. So one of the very first books I picked up, it's so stupid, but I have a feeling it's going to be a thing.
Okay.
So X-Men Adventures #1. So there's 2 things I said about this book. So this is the comic book that was based off of the original animated series.
Okay.
And
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yep. And then secondly, I said the animated series introduced a character called Morph. He wasn't in the comics before.
Okay.
So technically, this is the first comic book appearance of Morph. So I said, if the new X-Men cartoon that comes out, I said reintroduces Morph, and Morph makes the jump from cartoon to live action. Pretty good book to have.
That would be cool. Yeah. Well, at a minimum, like that book should get a little bit more interest when the new cartoon reboot comes out, right? And worst case, like Ed said, right? He's talking about buying number ones. Like worst case, it's an X-Men number one for. I think it's pretty pretty cool. It's based on a cartoon that means something to you, so why not?
Exactly. Then I picked up a Daredevil. I said number 158. This is the first Frank Miller. So iconic. I said that started the iconic Frank Miller run. I said on Daredevil. Nice. So that was picked up that. All new Wolverine. I said number 1. This is the first appearance of Laura Kinney X-23 in the Wolverine costume, which, like I said, with the new Deadpool and all the new movies coming out, like, everyone's banking on Laura Kinney X-23 being
yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, that's definitely going to be a thing.
Yep. X-Men number 4, which is the first appearance of Omega Red. Omega Red's yet to make his, like I said, MCU debut, but that's another one that, like, it's been slow burner for a while. That, and then, like I said, literally just like freaking stacks of other stuff, like random other stuff that I found. Like what was it? What was something else that I found? The second appearance of the Sinister Six. So it's this king size Spider-Man number 12 from 1968, I think.
It's cool cover too.
Yeah,
all the bad guys.
Yeah, like I said, just a whole bunch of just random, like super random stuff. And then, like I said, probably the gem that I found that I don't know if just no one knew what it was found Superman. I said, what is this? I said 18. What makes this book so cool? This is actually the first appearance of Doomsday. Buck.
Yeah, I was like, that cover looks familiar, right? Yeah. All right, Doomsday. He was in what movie was he in? Was he in Justice League, or was it?
He was in
one of the
Batman
DC
versus
movies,
Superman. He was in that.
Yeah,
I said he was in. I said the Lois and Clark, or the New Adventures of Superman. The one that's the CW one.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. I didn't watch that one at all.
Then I literally picked up like tons of other, like
nice.
Of other
random
stuff.
It's a good stack.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
It was fun. Like I said, cool event that they put on. Like I said, they don't charge you for tables. Like you can literally bring stuff, and you can not even have to actually buy anything. You can actually like trade with people too. So they really do this like with like Funko Pops and stuff like that. But it's like basically a whole comic book theme one. So they bring out beer and everything else for people. And like I said, just
hang out and talk comic books. Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, like you said,
talk comic books.
They have Funko ones here that have been to once or twice a long time ago. But I'm not aware of any like comic book ones. So that's cool that Austin has that, because there's a lot of things Austin doesn't have, but it's cool that they have a comic book one, especially because you've been a little more into comic books lately. So that's good.
Well, I mean, that's a wheeling and dealing. I said so to say. I've picked up and also put some stuff out there. And
cool.
It's, and right now with them, I said right now, like this collectibles in general, the market is all crashed out. Like I said, on everything.
Yeah.
But it's also, I said, like if you had the means, the best time to buy some stuff right now, just because everything is on the cheap. So you can basically pick stuff up now, hold it for, I said, you're going to be holding it for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, right? I said a lot of the stuff I buy is like either like spec buys, or that I'll try to roll into other stuff. And there's too much stuff out there that I'm like, you know what, I'd be an idiot not to buy this.
Nice. No, that's cool. Well, that's fun. Like, I mean, as long as you can do it, like I said, you got a little extra money and that's where you want to put it. There's definitely worse things you could spend your money on. So it's cool that for you, that's always kind of comic books, that it's like, hey, there's some deals, and especially I'm sure compared to where prices were 2020, 2021, like I'm sure everything's down crazy, right?
Crazy. I said in 2021, I said, and even in the beginning of 2022, then they started to kind of creep down. And I said from those highs, right?
Right.
And like I said, now with like inflation going crazy and everything else going nuts, like people are, like I said, offloading collectibles like crazy. So I'm like,
if there's cool stuff you like, now it's a good time to grab some.
And then honestly, you just throw out stupid numbers, and then if the worst thing someone's gonna do is say no, and then I said, literally I said, you may get 5 no's and 1 yes, and hey, you know what? I'll cash in on that 1 yes.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep on walking. If they say no, that's fair. But there's a decent amount of people who are probably just done with it, and maybe they were really interested in 2 years ago or more, and they're just like, I don't care about comics anymore. Like there's so many Funko Pop for sale posts like in our local group, like every day. It's somebody had like 40 pops that they were selling for $80. And they were like new stuff too. And I'm just like, you just bought these and they're like, I want to clear out my closet. $80 gets them. Like, okay, cool, good for you.
I've seen because I'm part of like a couple of groups that are buying those collections and stuff like that. I've seen them go from like, hey, paying 90% of Pop Price Guide to 70% of Pop Price Guide. I saw one the other day, 25% of Pop Price Guide.
Ouch. Like, ouch! You got to be pretty. Yeah, I mean, that's $5 on a $20 pop or $10 on a $40 pop. I guess that's a better comparison, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty low. Interesting.
Yeah. So, comics, like I said, I'm going to segue us. Like I said, just because I'm like, it's a good segue. Comic books are interesting right now, just because I'm like, I think they're finally starting to realize all the mistakes they started to make. I said in the MCU. Like, I don't know if you've heard, like I said, all like, dude, Kevin Feige just went and started like just clearing house and firing people left and right. Like the entire cast of Daredevil, gone. Like,
the
entire cast of the show, gone. Like,
I did not see that. I did see like a article in Variety like last week or this week, right? Which is Variety is a pretty big deal about how how the MCU was like in big trouble. So it's definitely getting some attention.
Yeah. So they've gone through and started just clearing house, like I said, on stuff. And I think what was funny, and then we won't talk about this because I haven't seen it now. Honestly, probably will wait until it hits streaming. This would be the first movie. That's the first Marvel movie that I've probably ever waited for. That I'll probably just wait for it to stream with the Marvels, right? It's interesting. So last week, they recut a trailer for the Marvels. So if you ever get a chance, I said this is for anybody out there, go watch the first trailer to the Marvels and the very last trailer to the Marvels. You would think you're watching a completely different movie. Really? Because I said the first trailer, it's all silly, it's all like like Freaky Friday type stuff and this, that, and the other, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
The last trailer, there's a whole bunch of flashbacks to Endgame. There's, like I said, it's more serious tone. It's like, hey, the world's gonna end. Like, it's like dramatic. Like, it looks like a completely different movie. So it was just funny to kind of see like the change in tone on how they've done it. Plus, I said, from what I've heard, and like I said, I honestly looked up the spoilers for the movie because I'm like, I don't care.
Me too.
I'm like,
I'm not gonna see. Well, real quick, I'm not gonna see it.
Yeah.
Until streaming probably, because Manny asked if it was worth watching in theater or wait at home. Manny, we didn't see it.
Yeah.
This is the first like usually like, because I had gone and seen some that you didn't, or like Scott had skipped some. Like, one of us has usually seen every Marvel movie opening weekend up until the Marvels. I didn't even really realize it was coming out this week until like this week. It's like, oh, it comes out on Friday. Guess I'm not seeing that.
Yeah. So I said I heard the end credit scenes. I said just like
I did too.
Are finally some decent end credit scenes that, like I said, like they actually kind of move some stuff forward.
Yeah.
But like I said, besides all that, or all the firings and everything else going on, all the, like I said, the Daredevil Born Again cast. So they fired all them. They're bringing back the showrunner from the guy who did The Punisher on Netflix, which is like
oh, cool,
great. I'm like, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's awesome, because like I said, that the Punisher show was great. It was gritty. It was awesome.
Yeah.
They also did a whole bunch of reshoots. I said for that Echo show. That's coming out, right? And so I don't know if you've seen the trailer for that. I said, out. It actually looks like for something that I had literally zero interest in at all.
Yeah,
the trailer actually got me interested in it.
It might be decent, right?
And
like you'll
because
at least you get a bit of shot.
Well, it's that, and it's going to be like, it's actually going to be like I said, the Disney Plus's first, like I said, produced mature show. I said where they're going to like, you know, it's going to be bloody. It's going to be this something. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I was surprised. And that leads me to, I said, and I think this is what Manny was talking about, right? Loki season 2.
Oh yeah,
like
I did watch that. I finished it.
What'd you think?
I think it started a little slow, but like that last maybe 2 episodes were really good.
Yeah.
Like I get, like, now that it's over, right? Like I can look back on like the first 3 or 4 episodes and be like, okay, right, it was setting stuff up, and that's fine. But like as I was watching those, I was kind of like, oh, like why am I even watching this? Does this even matter? But it finished strong.
It finished
what matters.
Incredibly strong. Like it finished incredibly strong. Like probably the best thing that they've put out. Like in terms of Disney. Since Endgame, and then of any of the Disney Plus shows,
TV shows.
Like hands down. Like
I mean, it's better than She-Hulk. It's better than Moon Knight. But like
it's they. And Ed said they stuck the landing. Yes, they stuck the landing. I said with Loki. I was impressed. Like I was legitimately impressed with it. Like I said, the music they scored with it. Like Tom Hiddleston, honestly, I said also, like said, kudos to that guy. Like
he does a great Loki. Like he always has. But
he does a great Loki. Like I said again, right? People that like, hey, I didn't really know a whole bunch of, like who Tom Hiddleston really was. But then I said, as Loki, as Loki, I'm like, I couldn't imagine anybody else in that role, because that's Loki. Just like, you know, like Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man,
and all the different, right? And he's done such a good job with Loki over the 14 years or whatever it's been, right? Like as that character is developed, because you know Loki in the first Thor movie is way different than Loki in Loki series 2, but he's done a great job like across the board with whatever they've asked him to do.
No, it's like I said, perfect. I said perfect arc. And then I think what impressed me the most, right? I said was like he didn't even have to say anything. Like I said, you could see like in his eyes, like right
at the very end.
At the very end, right?
Yeah.
You like didn't have to say anything. You could see in his eyes. Like I said, like everything. I said everything else. I said specifically going on. I don't know. I was surprised. like again, right? Like I said, I've been going in with low expectations with a lot of the Marvel stuff lately, just because it's been so bad. Like like everything's been just like terrible.
Yep.
And so I'm like, it was one of those things where I'm like I said I watched it, kind of like same thing like with the early episodes, right? Like I got through them. It was one of those ones I'm like, I can tell if I'm interested in something, because I'm like, I'll put down my phone. Right. I'm not browsing browsing eBay or doing something else, or this on my phone. Like I said, as I started progressing that series, I actually was fully invested in the show. Stuck the landing. It was great.
No, I totally agree. I think that for me, I was on, like, it was 6 episodes, right? I was on episode 4 this week, like halfway through. Like I had started it, I stopped it, and didn't go back for multiple days. But then I started to see a little bit of chatter about like the Loki season finale being good, and I didn't even realize how far behind I was. But yeah, like I caught up maybe like Thursday afternoon or something. Like I watched the rest of 4, all of 5 and 6 all together, and I'm like, yeah, it was good. And like you said, it's the first time in a long time where like I felt like I wanted to watch the next episode, like end of 5, right? Like going into that last episode, like I wanted to watch the next episode right away. It's been a very long time since I've felt that way about anything they put out.
Yeah, so super interesting. Like I said, I'm glad that I said I think this is maybe the pivot point from all the crap I said is going on. And Tyler points it out, like I said in the chat, right? So the 2 directors who directed most of the episodes are coming back for Daredevil too.
Cool.
And they're also getting one of the showrunners from Punisher. I said on that as well.
Okay.
Like I'm hoping this hits the turning point. Like people, like I said, people just want to, like I said, enjoy the movie. Like I said, rather than, like I said, like it being geared towards one thing, this, that, or the other, right? Like I think I think they're finally starting to get to like, hey, let's just make the movie entertaining, like, rather than have to have a message or have to, like I said, say a story or this, that. They're like, hey, let's make the movie, like I said, entertaining.
You know, I watched one no spoiler review thing for the Marvels earlier today, and that is basically what they said about the Marvels, is that it was not the best movie, right? It's not gonna crack your top 5 list, which is really, really hard to do at this point. But it's also not the worst, right? It's somewhere in the middle, and it was just enjoyable. And they read, like, it was I think that it was that channel Everything Always. It does a lot of like spoilery stuff ahead of time, but they read through a lot of the reviews from actual movie critics on Twitter, and everybody's kind of the same theme. Like it wasn't the best, but it was enjoyable. It had some maybe some parts that, you know, the villain was weak or whatever. Like there was some, you know, some not so perfect points, but overall, like it was just a fun movie. And then back to the Everything Always, you know, they're like, that's kind of all we wanted. It was just, you know, something fun to go and, you know, maybe you find yourself smiling a few times throughout it and just have a good time. A few people said it was better than the first Captain Marvel movie. So I feel like I like that one quite a bit. So we'll see if they're able to top that. But this one's kind of entirely different with with Monica and Miss Marvel, and like it's kind of a different dynamic than that first Captain Marvel. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it, but yeah, I'm probably not going to the theater to see it. It's gonna be on Disney Plus and like at Christmas, probably, right? Like I don't think they've said, but it's probably going to be. They want people to tune in to Disney Plus and watch a movie with your family on Christmas. They're probably going to drop it like that week after Christmas between New Year's.
That has that written all over it.
Yeah, it's like it's that written all over it. Yeah, I can wait.
So yeah, no, it's very, very, very much the same. So I'm like,
yeah, Ed's on board, right? Loki 2 might be MCU's Nexus point. Yeah, I don't know. I hope so. I hope we're not being too optimistic.
No. Well, but, and I think what's funny, right, is because so also good news, actor strike is over.
Yeah, officially, right? Like I thought that was done a couple weeks ago, but apparently it wasn't. So
yeah,
thank God.
So that's officially done. But then it's so funny. It's like, okay, everyone back to work. So they're literally getting Deadpool 3 is back on track even before Thanksgiving. So like, so they already, so they already basically, hey, everyone's reporting back to set, so that way they can get this thing out. And then they moved the release date from May to July.
Okay, that's not bad.
So which,
I mean, again, with all the mess, like that's not bad. But clearly they want to get that one out. So
yeah,
no, July would be great. Depending on when in July. I mean, that sounds like a San Diego Comic-Con panel, or even if it's like a recap, like, hey, congrats on a good release kind of thing. Like maybe Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds will show up for Comic-Con or something. That'd be cool.
Honestly, like I said, here's the thing: Marvel Studios, I said, it would behoove them to go back to San Diego Comic-Con. Like I said, just to kind of like said. Just to reframe some stuff, right? Like, I think they've lost their way. Like, so I know they have the Disney Day, this, that, and the other. I'm like, but yeah, that's a whole different fan base. Then I said, then the concentrated, basically fan base. I said that's there for that very purpose, and I think they could basically
in that. Yeah, totally. I mean, obviously we're biased, but like you want to get back some of your magic from those earlier movies. You know what you did? You had Tom Hiddleston come out as Loki, like right on the Saturday panel in Hall H. Like you had some really cool moments bringing out like all the Avengers cast and stuff, and those movies did really good. So yeah, maybe there's something to that. Maybe there isn't, but yeah, Kevin Feige should definitely bring a Marvel panel back to San Diego Comic-Con. I hope so.
Yeah,
God, I hope it's gonna be good. I hope everything's gonna be back.
That's the funny thing is I'm like, because last week, right, I was like 50-50, right? I'm like, I don't want to go to San Diego, and then now I'm like I kind of want to go to San
Dude. Yeah, dude. So last episode, right, 2 weeks ago, the chat asked, I think it was Misty, asked if we were going to try for Comic-Con badges that following weekend, which would have been last weekend now. And I said, like, I told you, like I don't know, man, like I'm not sure if I'm supposed to take this year off. Like, I don't know. At the same time, fully knowing that I was going to at least try to get a badge. Because I texted this to you. Like, I went into it thinking, like, if I can get my son a Sunday badge, right? Just nice little Sunday badge to keep him eligible for pre-registration next year. That would be enough. Like, but I logged in. Right, it's the Qit thing. So your little man starts walking across the screen, and it tells you how many minutes. And my little man popped up right away and started dashing across my screen, and was like, "You have an 8-minute wait." I'm like, "Oh God, I'm gonna get it right away. Like, what do I do?" So I had like 8 minutes to sit there and think, like, I'm gonna have a shot at preview night. Do I do this? And obviously, I bought preview night badges because you don't leave preview night badges on the table. So even as I'm clicking purchase, I'm like, I don't know, like whatever, like you can always get a refund or like, but I'm like, as that day progressed, I'm like, nah, I think we have to go back to Comic-Con. So I'm like 95% in, as much as I'm not looking forward to like the hotel sale and all that stuff. Like, man,
yeah, like
I don't know how to quit. I just don't know how to quit. It's like I'm addicted.
Yes, you got some of that Comic-Con.
Yeah, I am, Manny. I'm literally addicted. I don't know how to quit Comic-Con. And again, like if I didn't get badges, whatever, not a big deal. I think this is the first time I've ever been able to purchase preview night. I think we've gotten preview night like through the press badge and stuff, but that was the first time. Right, it was you and I went, and that was our first Wednesday was when we had the press badges for the first time. Mm-hmm. Like I've never had the opportunity to buy preview night, so like I'm telling my wife all this, I'm like, she doesn't get it. Like she's like, you say this every year. Like same with fun days. Like you're like, oh, you're probably not gonna go. Like, but like I always go. So I'm excited about it though. Whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
like I am. Like,
one more year. One day it'll run out, but it's not this year.
Yeah, like
so you'll have to go.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. The best part is we've got like again, like going back to my thinking from last weekend, it's like we've got time to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think that the thing that I would hate, right, and the reason why like it's hard to not buy badges in November for a convention that's in July is because I feel like by the time July gets here, I'm going to really want to go. Yeah. And making that decision, what is it, like 9 months ahead of time? Like it's hard to say no. Like I remember the year that Nate stopped going a couple years ago. But that first year when we all still worked together, I know Nate was like, when July came, I know he really wished he would have went. But right, you made that decision 9 months prior that you weren't going that year. It's the way they do the badges. It's hard, man. Like you gotta do it when they present it to you.
Once you start seeing the posts and start knowing the people that are there, like
that too, man. Like exactly, like all right, because there's open registration. Like everybody, all my friends on Instagram and stuff were posting that. Like a screenshot of either them waiting, which is always great, and then even better, hey, I got Comic-Con badges. I don't know how. I just don't know what it would be like to not know that I was going to, and then like just all of it, right? The anticipation leading up to it, and then right, Manny said open registration is next week. Awesome. Like there's going to be a bunch more posts next week, and it's just I enjoy it. It's just fun. Like as hard as it is, like sometimes to get hotels and badges and all that stuff, like it's just fun, man. Jeremy, you have to go because Manny's gonna be there.
Yeah, no.
Maybe there'll be a cool cereal panel. Like we'll hang out again.
Like I said,
One
there's
more
always
time.
memories. There's always like I said, there's always like the things, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, even last year wasn't great. Like it was still better than any other con ever. But as far as San Diego Comic Con goes, it was probably, it had good moments, but it was a little less than the others.
Yeah.
I get that, but I think next year's going to be back.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I'm like, damn it, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm.
We'll figure it out. Like whatever. Yeah. Right. Like it's
like I'm like I said I was 50-50. Like I said a couple weeks ago, but now like I'm more like 80-20 now. Like it's gonna happen. Like
we're supposed to be saving money. Like we're so bad at this. We were supposed to not do any vacations, and we were going to save money to go to Japan. And part of my thinking was like, this is Ian's idea, right? Like it's my son's idea. He's the one who wanted to go to Japan. So we're like, all right, cool. I'm not just going to be like, hey, let's go to Japan next week. I'm like, let's do this the adult way, right? Let's save some money, and let's take a year. Well, however, I don't even know how much Japan costs, right? It's thousands of dollars. So like, let's take a little bit of time. We'll save up some money and then we'll go. But that means no Comic-Con, no other random trips. But we've already blown that up. So we're going to Universal Studios before the end of the year. We're going to Austin. Now we're going back to Comic-Con. Like, whatever. We're fine. Screw it. We'll figure it out. We're still going to Japan at some point. It just, I got some stuff to figure out.
I was literally the same way, and then I'm like, well,
it's not that much money.
I got this trip, and then I'm like, oh, I got this other trip, and I already have like 5 things planned. I said between now and July, I'm like
summer.
I went from like having nothing to like this ain't won't be that much. Like
no, exactly. And so more justification, right?
Yeah.
Ian gets a junior badge, which is half the price. It's like $170 for all 5 days. Like that's a steal.
That is a steal.
And he only gets that till he's 17. So like he's running into that wall quick. Like he's already aged out of the free badge. Now he's in that junior category, but like $170 for all 5 days at Comic-Con, you cannot beat that value.
No.
So whatever, at least go. And honestly, like he's the one who wants to go more than me. So clearly that's become our thing, which you are included in, right? That's become our thing, like to go to Comic-Con. So whatever, I guess we're going to Comic-Con. And Manny brings up a really good point.
Hey,
Jeremy.
that was a good memory.
that I forget the official name, right? That Law and Movies panel. That they're gonna want to see us again. Like we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go see what they're talking about next year, just because. Maybe there'll be something good around it again, but we'll have to go say hi to our friends at whatever that podcast was called. It was a good time.
That was a good time.
And there's going to be better TV stuff. Like there's going to be better.
There's going to be so much cool stuff now. Like
there's going to be better panels. Like there was hardly any panels worth going to. So there's going to be better stuff. Maybe you know what, Jeremy? What if there's that King of the Hill panel you really wanted last year?
Ooh.
It's hard, man. Like that would break your heart if if you're like, no, this year I'm not going to go.
That would literally break my heart.
Like Judge brings King of the Hill reboot.
That would literally break me,
right?
Like just because
that is,
like I said that show. I said that is my Simpsons. Like I said that is my like. I can literally quote it back and forth 100 times over and know so much random crap about that show. Like no,
it's become a really close second for me. Like because I constantly rewatch it. My wife, I make my wife watch it like we were eating lunch together now and stuff. And I forget what episode we were watching, but she said something about Bobby. She's like, "Oh, Bobby did that." I'm like, I was impressed she knew his name. I'm like, that means you're watching the show. Like you're starting to know these characters. It's like, I think you secretly like King of the Hill. So I think I've won a new fan.
You gotta love King.
It's a good show, man. So maybe we can will that into existence. That Kathy and Jimmy, Mike Judge.
Yeah, they gotta finish it before they all start dying off. Like,
yeah. Unfortunately, right? That's sad, but it feels like good timing. Maybe they'll have something to show for the King of the Hill reboot. I mean, they bring like is it Disney?
Yeah.
Does Disney own that now? Because Fox. Yeah, I mean, they bring
Disney show. Like because I said, it's a Fox show, so Fox, like I said, Disney owns that property, and then Disney also just bought back all of their Hulu property. So Disney now owns Hulu 100%.
Oh, okay, cool. So my point was right.
They're actually getting close to merging the platforms. They actually merged them overseas.
Okay. Did they? Okay, cool. That'll help. But like even when it was Fox, right? Fox always brought, as long as I've been going, right, Simpsons and Bob's Burgers, and they've continued to do that since Disney's taken over. So they usually bring all the animation stuff. So I feel like there's a really good chance that it could actually happen. So maybe that's the reason why we're doing one more year.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe an offsite something. I don't know.
I'm in.
Signing. Like we've never gotten like a cast signing before. Like we've never gotten anything through the lottery. So
imagine like a cast signing.
A panel and a signing would be sweet.
I would literally be all in on that. Give all my entries.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And bribe other people for their figure out a way.
Do some barter trading with the Funko booth and if that's the whole thing, then
whatever. Yeah. Everything is available for trade. Yeah, like that would be an all hands on deck kind of thing. So who knows? Either way, man. Like there's going to be some cool stuff. So sounds like we've got to like we're just going to have to go. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
Right. Mondo's gonna have another cool poster like that Spider-Man one you got like last year. Funko Bill will return. Maybe we'll go to Fun Days. Who knows?
Maybe you'll eat a turkey.
Oh God, I wonder what that food's gonna be like. I feel like it's got to be really good to make up for the sandwich from last year, right? Like it's got to be steak or like I don't know, something that they can obviously not give us food poisoning over, but like it's got to be like a big step up with something good.
I said as well, like
yeah. Oh God, yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I saw our friend Brian Mariotti sold $1 million worth of stock this week. Good for that guy. I believe he still has like millions left, hundreds of millions left to sell. Like, because when I get the emails, right? Like because like if you own stock, sometimes you get the emails when big things happen, and when one of the like key shareholders or whatever like sells a bunch of stock, you get that notification, right? Like it doesn't mean anything to me, but it means something to other people. So like because Brian was board director, CEO, when he sells stuff, you get the notification, but it said, hey, Brian sold his $1.2 million value of stock, but he still has this many shares left over. It's a lot of shares. So I did the quick math on, the $7 stock price, and Mr. Mariotti has a ton of money. He's one rich man. So it'll be interesting to see what Fun Days looks like without him. But Mike's still there. Mike Becker's still there. Mike Becker's like the only person who posts anything on their social media. He's become the chairman of fun / social media guy. Like they don't do anything unless Mike does it. It's weird.
Yeah,
still weird, right? Remember we were doing that for a minute, like
it's gonna be interesting.
like weird Funko moment of the week. There's still not much unless it's Mike Becker driven. It's just weird. He's a good dude. I just don't know when he signed up to be head of social media or the face of social media
or head of everything. Like it's just like you're literally trying to keep this thing afloat. Like
yeah, he's the only fun thing.
Yeah,
it's the only fun thing. He does a great job, right? Even with his random videos, like just for Friday, because it was Freddy Friday. they did just a quick like Instagram reel. Somebody brought Freddy's steak burgers into the Funko office. Even that stuff's fun. Like I never thought about that before, but Freddy's burgers, it makes sense. So yes, Manny agrees. Mike Becker, definitely heart of Funko. Oh, good dude. Does a lot. I don't know who else does anything anymore, but I don't know. One day they will figure it out again. Because if not, they're in trouble.
Yeah, just a little bit. But you know who's not in trouble?
A bit. Us. Yeah, hold on. Friendly reminder. Where is friendly? Oh, I'm logged out. There it is. Friendly reminder. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Jeremy with the save. Friendly reminder that we have a giveaway going on that ends. I will tell you in 2 seconds. Let me find the giveaway sheet. There we go. So you can enter our giveaway on GiveLab. 13 ways to enter. It ends in 13 days. So a little less than 2 weeks as of Saturday, November 11th. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. But yeah, a couple more days. You can write easy actions like just click and listen to our podcast on SoundCloud, or watch the classic STS Guys Fiverr rap song video on YouTube. Or you can enter that secret code from last week's episode that I'm not going to tell you what it was if you didn't know. So go back and listen to episode 250. And you can get that secret code for 1,000 entries. So yeah, shout out to everybody who's entered.
So many entries.
We will, and you can still get your daily entries. So make sure you're clicking on those. Really a great chance to win. Manny shares. You know who's not in trouble? Frisky Britches is not in trouble. They're back. STS Guys follows them. Like obviously we follow them on with the STS Guys Instagram account, and they don't post a ton, but when they do, and I switch from my personal account to the STS Guys account, it often pops up right at the top of our feed, and it's always a girl in her underwear, and it always catches me off guard for a second. That happened this week twice, and it's like, oh yeah, like what is this? And I'm like, oh yeah, Frisky Riches. Anyway. Oh yeah. So speaking of Instagram, if you want to follow us, we're on all the social medias, including Instagram at STS Guys. We are on Twitter at STS Guys, and we're on Facebook at the STS Guys. And I'm Larry from the STS Guys.
Shilling like a villain.
Shilling like a villain.
Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding.
Ding ding.
Nate. Shout out. Yeah. If you it's like Manny.
No one has a podcast. No one has a podcast anymore.
This podcast, and just because everybody loves Vin Diesel,
I don't have friends. I got family.
Yep.
There you go. Shout out to our shout out
to the podcast.
Shout out to our podcast family. You guys. Yeah. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you. Where'd you get that, and anybody I missed? So thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Also, just a heads up, we will be going on hiatus. I said just for a couple of weeks. Just because.
Yeah, we'll get at least one episode in before Christmas.
Yeah.
This is about the time of the year where that happens. Yeah. So yeah, we'll get at least one in before Christmas.
We got some crazy stuff going on. Like I said, people moving, going crazy, going in and out of the country. Like it'll be crazy. But
Work
I said
stuff.
yes. So everyone have an amazing Thanksgiving. I said we'll see you. I said probably in December.
Sweet.
And on that note, for episode 251 of the STS Guys, I've been Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
And we're the STS Guys. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.